Got a bit of a throwback Thursday head for you. So I've dipped into the vintage vaults and pulled out this gem, STX Primer. Now, I can't remember exactly when this released. I'm going to say it might have been like 2006 maybe. So if you've any idea when it released, but I'm going to hazard a guess, it was around about 2006. And it's a little bit squishy, but virtually every head at the time was a little bit squishy. Plastic's changed so much on modern heads, it's just unbelievable how much the plastic alone has moved on. But aesthetically, it's a nice looking head that STX had at the time, the Primer. Had some unusual stringing holes, so usually obviously you see the stringing holes on the side here. The Primer has stringing holes running from top to bottom of the sidewall. In fact, it wasn't actually bottomed, and just rotated the head round. So a little while ago I strung this head. But the holes on the top of the sidewall rail, and they do actually come out, you can't even see them, they're like at a weird angle. So it's kind of like inside the head, a slight angle, sort of on the edge of the plastic. Really weird place to have the holes. But there's also other random holes on this head. So on this bit here, this kind of strut, it's like they started drilling holes and thought, well, do you know what? It just looks cool with semi-holes because they're not drilled all the way through. You see where it kind of like pokes the plastic a little bit, but there's no complete hole. There's just like a semi-hole. Really random. But kind of late 90s, early millennium, there were some weird heads on the market. This is probably one of the less weird heads that STX had at the time. There was some funky heads. Remember the Liquid? What else? The STX Fuse. There was just a couple of weird ones. There was one called the Quark. Still looking for a Quark for the collection. So if you've got a Quark lying around, I think it only came in white and kind of like a neon orange kind of colour. Not great heads. They broke fairly quickly, but as I said, plastic's moved on an awful lot, and the design of heads has moved on hugely. But I think for the time, it was probably one of STX's better heads. I would say the Primer. Now there's another one that I'm trying to find in my collection as well, which is the STX Cannon. Now, if memory serves me right, the Cannon was on a 10-degree bend handle, the crankshaft. And there I might just be making this up, but there may have been a straight Cannon as well. But again, if you have a Cannon lying around, interested in adding a Cannon to my collection. But the Primer, there it is, strung up pretty well actually. But it's had these holes here, which made it a little bit lighter. Yeah, this is back at a time where people were just trying to take out bits of plastic wherever they could to try and make a lighter, more aerodynamic head. But you can see here the holes run all the way through. I mean, you could tie your leathers through there if you want to put a trad in it. Well, I think there's definitely a time where you've seen fewer and fewer trads. You know, you barely see any trads on the field at all these days. But it's strung up pretty well for an old vintage head. So STX Primer. If you know what year it released, let us know. I think it might have been 2006, 2007. It's nice little head for Throwback Thursday from the Vintage Vaults.